Friday, the day before the clinic. I just got to the barn. I'm gonna give Doc one final school today and pack up as much as I can beforehand. Give him a bath, get our hay nets ready. I've got a bunch of stuff on my to-do list, so let's get cracking. Good morning, Dockaroo. How you doing, bud? Well done, bud. Alright, Doc is done with his ride and he's turned out for a little bit while we pack. It's in like the low 60s right now and it looks like it's gonna rain. So yeah, no bath for him today. We're just gonna give him a really good brush tomorrow. Here's everything that we've got together for tomorrow. I've got the saddle down there. I'm gonna pick up the saddle pad for that tomorrow morning. Got a towel, helmet, and then a bucket with cinch, brushes, lunge line, fly spray, extra gloves, a sponge, some grain because we're gonna be there all day. And then his bridle and his hay nets and everything are in my trunk for ready to go tomorrow morning. Alright, it is Friday, but surprise, it is Friday a week after the clips you just saw. Because what happened? The clinic got rain dated. Last Friday at like 5 p.m. I got a message from the organizer saying they were pushing it a week due to forecasted rain, and it did actually rain, so it wasn't for nothing, which is good. So it's now a week later, and everything that you just saw happened again this morning. And there's only been one small change of plans since last time, which is that the shipper that we were going to use wound up just dropping her trailer off for us to borrow, and some friends are going to drive us, so that is going to be super fun, and I'm excited to spend the day with them. Also, on my arm, you can see Doc's handiwork from a few days ago. He managed to get me really good on the bicep. It matches my shirt. But yeah, trailer's packed up. Doc's got hay right there for tomorrow, and all I need to do is pick out the trailer because there was some manure in the back. Good morning. It's 6:30, 6:45ish. We just got to the barn, and I'm gonna go say hi to Nala before we load Doc on the trailer and head out. Hi! I know, I'm interrupting breakfast time. Hi, good girl. She's like, what the hell are you doing here? It is too early. Proud of you, Dockaroo.
You can't be bothered.
Nope. There's food.
But good boy.
I'm freeze framing here for a second to talk about what happened after Doc got on the trailer, because obviously, as you just saw, he hopped on perfectly fine. But once he was on the trailer, unfortunately, he bumped his head on the roof of the trailer and got really scared and made it really clear that he didn't want to load back onto the trailer. So we decided not to push it and we let him stay home. And completely on a whim, I decided to try loading Nala instead, and Nala actually loaded right up. So I wound up taking her to the clinic instead of Doc. We got to the clinic super late. We rolled in about an hour after it started, so I just had to throw all my stuff on and get in the ring, and I walked Nala around once each way and then joined the rest of the group, and she actually handled it like a champ. I've taken the audio out for all of this because the ring was right next to a highway, And there was a lot going on in the bleachers behind us, so the audio quality is kind of trash. But I'm going to leave a little bit in a second. This was our individual session with the clinician. This was a Johnny Flores clinic, but I left this bit of audio in because I want you guys to hear what happened. Basically, what he was asking us to do was trot on a small circle in front of him, and the circle was too small for Nala to bend around.
Can you do it? Wonderful. Let's just go to trot going with it. I'll let you do it when you feel.
Can we make our circle a little bit bigger?
Okay. I like that. I like two-way communication. So many people just suffer.
Just goes to show that you can and should advocate for your horse when you're in a situation like this. So the drill we were working on here was refining the stop not by applying pressure to stop, but by the absence of pressure. Basically, I was keeping my leg on, I was keeping contact on the reins, really driving Nala forward, leg to hand, riding back to front, and when I wanted her to stop, all I was supposed to do was sit back, drop my hand, and take my leg off. Our first try, Johnny called me on cheating a little bit. He clocked that I was an English rider almost immediately, and he yelled at me for using my hand to aid the stop, which he was right, I was doing that. And then we tweaked some things about how I was managing my reins, and got it on our second try. This was only a couple minutes of work, but it had a huge impact on our riding, and he actually told us to go try it at the lope. So here's a little bit of our canter work. It's not great. I'd only put one canter on Nala before coming to the clinic, so I just wanted to give this a try and see if she had anything in the tank, and the answer was no, she didn't really. So I tried this once or twice each way. This one was my best yet, and she was really telling me she was not equipped to canter, so I gave it a rest, and that was the end of the first half of the clinic. After a quick lunch break, we were back for the second section of the clinic, which was a ranch trail focused session. So it included things like bridges and spin boxes and gates, which Nala, as you can see, was not a fan of. There was some side passes and some backing that I'm missing video of, but honestly, you guys aren't missing much. It was not very pretty. It didn't help that we had to side pass either facing towards or facing away from the really busy highway just on the other side of the trees. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. Our spin box here was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Obviously, there's stuff to fix, but again, I've never asked her to spin like this, so we're getting there. There were a lot of tight turns and also some very narrowly set pulls, which poor Nala was a little confused about. And then we had a moment here. This was our second time across the bridge under saddle, and I didn't close my right leg enough. She stepped off the side. So Johnny had us come around and catch it again just to fix that, because that's a bad habit. And then from there we had to walk a turn and then pick up our jog and jog between the cones here over the poles. I honestly feel like I had a little bit of an advantage coming into this clinic because I have jumping experience. Like, as we were talking through the trail course, I was planning out in my head where I was going to turn to get the best angle to all of the obstacles. I was planning where my transitions were going to be. I was planning out my distances. It was really cool to see that hunter-jumper education that you think doesn't have any topicality to something like ranch riding really come into play as we were riding this course. This was the last element of the course. This was an obstacle where you had to pick up the rope on the standard, walk a figure 8 around the jump block, and then place the rope back down on the standard and then back up in a straight line. Even just in the walk, I was still thinking a lot about how I was going to shape my turn and still planning out the best angle to come into the standard at so I could pick up the rope. And having to ride the figure 8 one-handed was definitely a little bit of a step up in the difficulty. That's all the video that I got from the clinic. I am so pleased with how Nala did. She absolutely went above and beyond. And I need you guys to remember that at the time of this clinic, Nala had only been under saddle for 4 weeks prior to this, after having 2 months off. So yeah, good girl Nala. She was super brave for me. I could not be prouder of her. This was a definite sign that I am doing the right thing with her and that we're taking steps in the right direction. And since this clinic, I've put so much time and effort into strengthening her top line, strengthening her hindquarters, making sure she's carrying herself correctly, and I have stepped back on doing any canter work with her until the vets we're working with clear her for it. First thing we did when we got home was turn Nala out in the big ring for a nice roll. And then we actually went and got her roommate, her BFF, Luz, and they got to spend some time together and run around in the big ring. Thank you all for watching this. Thank you for coming on this journey with me. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to see more of my journey with Nala. And I'm sorry this took so long. I'll try not to leave a 2-month gap between this video and my next one, but I make no promises.
Does Nala like men?
No, she hates men.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.